A new chapter in the never-ending drama inside Western Regional Off-Track Betting, or OTB, which of course runs Batavia Downs. Investigative Post is reporting on internal tension and division between those employees who are loyal to former CEO Henry Wojtaszek, who is now a board member, and current CEO Byron Brown, the former mayor of Buffalo. This is based on a new lawsuit and interviews with insiders. J-Dale Shoemaker with Investigative Post joins me live tonight to talk about this. There is a lot going on. OTB, we've said and laughed before, it's the story that never ends. This latest chapter really is interesting because you go through this lawsuit and claims from an employee who was dismissed, who kind of just seems to be telling what's really happening, according to him, behind the scenes.
Yeah, this lawsuit is interesting because what it does is it exposes the tensions that have been broiling ever since Henry Wojtaszek was replaced by Byron Brown at the end of 2024. So this lawsuit makes a number of disparate claims here and there. The main thing that it does, however, is it says that there is a split in the staff. There's about 400 or so people who work at OTB. There's a split in the staff, as you said, those allied with the former CEO Henry Wojtaszek and those allied with the new administration, Byron Brown. The employee in the lawsuit claims that if you're allied with Henry Wojtaszek, who is a Republican, former Republican chairman of Niagara County, then you are getting bad treatment, you're not getting raises, you're not getting promotions, and you might, even face some kind of retribution from the new management. Now, the new management says that's not true at all. However, and they call these claims false. They say they're going to vigorously defend their position. Nonetheless, it is exposing this battle, more or less, between Henry Wojtaszek and Byron Brown. Wojtaszek, you'll recall, was more or less forced out of the job after a state law change. A state law change changed the way the board votes. They now have a weighted voting system that gave control of the board of directors to the Democratic cities and counties, Buffalo, Rochester, Erie, and Monroe counties, giving Democrats control of OTB, taking it away from Republicans. All that to say that put a Democrat in charge instead of a Republican in charge. So this is all this proxy battle, basically, between the Democrats and the Republicans. And the lawsuit kind of exposes some of that. Wojtaszek, I am told by one source, is now on his revenge tour. All of these officials and other employees that he's put in, he is, quote unquote, pulling the puppet strings like a puppet master. And the staff also apparently doesn't know who to align with.
The other issue here is the question as to whether or not Henry Wojtaszek will actually be able to serve on the board, and some claims that he has been sort of serving already and shouldn't because he doesn't have the gambling license he needs, right? Yeah.
So the inciting incident for this latest chapter came last summer when Byron Brown's administration put out a report saying that an unnamed senior official was enjoying free food and drinks to the tune of $27,000 at OTB's bars and restaurants. That turned out to be Henry's longtime friend and ally, Scott Kudrowski. Shortly thereafter, Henry begins pursuing a seat on the board of directors. Niagara County in September appoints him to the board of directors. In order to serve, however, you need a gaming license. Henry does not have a gaming license. Nevertheless, he's been attending the board meetings and participating to a limited extent. He can't vote, but he's there, he shows up, etc. The Gaming Commission has learned about this. They are now admonishing OTB for saying, you are misleading the public by having him listed in the minutes, by having him listed on the website, and they're saying you can't do that. He can't be sitting with the board anymore. So I was at the meeting last week. He now has to sit in the public section and not at the board table.
More to come on this. We'll see if he actually gets his gaming license and can actually serve on the board. A lot to the article. Again, this matters so much because the money that comes from OTB goes to all the municipalities, helps keep taxes lower a little bit. J-Dale Shoemaker with Investigative Post. Thanks so much. Good to see you.